The tiny detail that makes your cat one of a kind. Imagine discovering that your cat has carried a completely unique identity on the tip of its nose since the day it was born. Not hidden inside its DNA, not in a microchip. Right there, in plain sight, where you've looked countless times without ever realizing what you were seeing. Every time your cat sniffs your hand, presses its nose against a window, or looks up at you waiting for dinner, you're looking directly at one of the most fascinating features in the feline world. Yet, almost no one talks about it. Most cat owners spend years admiring their cat's eyes, ears, whiskers, and fur patterns while overlooking one tiny detail that makes their companion unlike any other cat on Earth. Here's the surprising part. If two cats have the exact same coat color, the same eye color, the same size, and even belong to the same litter, they still cannot share this feature. Nature creates it only once. It never repeats it. Scientists and specialists in feline biology have long observed that the small ridges and grooves covering a cat's nose form a pattern that is remarkably individual. It is not something that appears after birth or changes with age. It develops before the kitten is even born and stays almost entirely the same throughout its life. That means your cat has been carrying a natural signature from its very first breath. A signature that belongs only to that one animal and will never exist again in exactly the same form. Once you notice it, something changes. You stop seeing your cat as just another cute pet and begin to appreciate just how extraordinary every individual feline truly is. Suddenly, that tiny pink or black nose becomes far more than a nose. It becomes evidence that nature never creates copies. But this incredible discovery raises an even bigger question. How does something so small become completely unique in every single cat? And if this pattern is truly one of a kind, what else could it reveal that most owners have never noticed? The answer is even more fascinating than the nose itself, and it begins long before your cat ever opened its eyes. Your cat has a natural fingerprint that no noter's cat can copy. If someone asked you what makes your cat truly unique, you would probably mention its personality, its fur pattern, or the color of its eyes. Very few people would think about the nose. Yet, this tiny area is one of the clearest examples that no two cats are exactly alike. Look closely at your cat's nose and you'll notice a network of tiny ridges, grooves, and bumps spread across the hairless surface. They may seem random at first, but they form a pattern that belongs only to your cat. Researchers studying feline anatomy have found that these markings are naturally different in every individual, much like human fingerprints. The most remarkable part is when this pattern begins to form. While the kitten is still developing before birth, countless small biological processes shape the nose little by little. Tiny variations occur naturally during development, creating an arrangement that will never be perfectly repeated in another cat. Even kittens born in the same litter, sharing the same parents, and growing together, develop their own unique nose pattern. Unlike fur color, which can fade slightly over the years, or body weight, which changes throughout life, the structure of the nose remains remarkably stable. It becomes a permanent feature that your cat carries every single day. This means that every gentle nose bump against your hand, every curious sniff, and every close-up photo you've taken has been showing you something completely exclusive. Your cat has been carrying its own natural signature all along. But this leads to an even more intriguing mystery. If every cat receives a unique nose before it is even born, why would nature invest so much effort creating something that almost nobody notices? The answer reveals something fascinating about how life itself creates individuality. Why did evolution give every cat a different nose? At first, it may seem like an unnecessary detail. After all, why would nature create millions of different nose patterns if most cats will never need them to recognize one another? The answer begins with a simple truth about life itself. Nature rarely produces perfect copies. Specialists in animal development explain that every kitten grows through an incredibly complex process. As cells divide and tissues take shape, countless tiny variations occur naturally. These differences are so subtle that we never notice them, yet together they create features that are completely unique. The nose is one of those features. Instead of following an identical blueprint every time, its tiny ridges and grooves develop with slight natural variations. The result is a pattern that no other cat will ever share, even if two siblings look almost identical in every other way. This doesn't mean evolution was trying to create a personal ID card for cats. Rather, uniqueness is a natural outcome of how living organisms develop. The same process that makes every human face slightly different also gives every cat its own unmistakable nose. Researchers have observed similar individuality in many parts of the animal kingdom, reminding us that no two living creatures are ever exact duplicates. Your cat is another example of that incredible diversity. The next time you look at your cat, remember that you're not seeing a copy of a species. You're looking at an individual whose tiny details were shaped by millions of microscopic events before it was even born. And the most surprising part is that this unique pattern isn't hidden under a microscope. It's visible every single day. You simply need to know where to look, because once you do, you'll discover a secret map that has always been right in front of you. The secret map, hidden on your cat's face. The next time your cat is calm, sitting by the window, or curled up beside you, take a moment to look closely at its nose. Not from across the room, but from just a few inches away. You may be surprised by what you've never noticed before. Instead of a smooth surface, you'll see tiny lines, delicate grooves, and small textured areas that create an intricate pattern. Some noses have broader ridges, others display finer markings. Some patterns appear almost symmetrical, while others seem completely irregular. That combination is what makes each cat unmistakably unique. Most owners never notice these details because they naturally focus on the eyes. A cat's gaze captures our attention instantly, leaving the nose almost invisible in comparison. Yet, once you shift your focus, it's difficult to ignore how much information is packed into such a small space. You don't need special equipment to appreciate it. Good natural light is often enough. If your cat enjoys gentle affection, you might even catch a close look while it's sniffing your hand or greeting you with a soft nose touch. Many owners are amazed after taking a close-up photo and zooming in, discovering textures they had never seen before despite living with their cat for years. Moments like these remind us that curiosity changes the way we see familiar things. The more carefully you observe your cat, the more unique details begin to appear. Features that once seemed ordinary suddenly tell a much richer story. But this discovery raises another fascinating question. If every cat's nose carries a one-of-a-kind pattern that can be seen with the naked eye, could it actually be used to identify an individual cat? The answer may surprise you more than the pattern itself. Could your cat really be identified only by its nose? It sounds like something from a science fiction movie, but it's a question researchers have seriously explored. If every cat's nose has a pattern that never repeats, could that pattern work as a reliable way to tell one cat from another? Studies of feline anatomy suggest the answer is yes. Specialists have found that the arrangement of ridges and grooves on a cat's nose is consistent enough to distinguish individuals. Much like fingerprints, help identify people. This is one reason the idea has attracted growing interest among scientists and technology developers. In recent years, engineers have even experimented with systems that use photographs of a cat's nose to recognize individual animals. Instead of relying only on collars or microchips, these systems compare the natural pattern on the nose with stored images. The technology is still developing, but the results show just how distinctive these patterns can be. Of course, this doesn't replace veterinary identification methods. Microchips remain the safest and most reliable way to permanently identify a pet. But the fact that a simple photograph of your cat's nose may reveal its unique identity is a remarkable example of how much information nature has already provided. It also changes the way we think about our pets. That tiny nose is not just an adorable feature that twitches while exploring a new smell. It's another reminder that every cat is an individual with characteristics found nowhere else in the world. And, as incredible as that is, your cat's nose does more than reveal its identity. If you know what to watch for, it can also give you valuable clues about how your cat is feeling. Sometimes before any obvious signs appear, what your cat's nose can tell you about its health. Your cat's nose is more than a unique signature. It can also offer small clues about its overall condition, although not always in the way many people believe. One of the biggest myths is that a warm or dry nose automatically means a cat is sick. veterinarians and feline specialists explain that this simply isn't true. A cat's nose naturally changes throughout the day. After a nap in a sunny spot, it may feel warmer or drier. After drinking water, grooming, or exploring the house, it may become cool and slightly moist again. These changes are completely normal. What deserves your attention is not a single moment, but a lasting change combined with other signs. If your cat suddenly becomes unusually tired, stops eating, hides much more than usual, or develops discharge, swelling, cracks, or sores around the nose, those changes may indicate that something is wrong and should be evaluated by a veterinarian. The key is learning what is normal for your own cat. Because you see your companion every day, you're in the best position to notice subtle differences before anyone else. A small change that seems insignificant today may become valuable information when viewed alongside other behaviors. This is another reason why paying attention to your cat's face matters. The more familiar you become with its natural appearance, the easier it is to recognize when something has genuinely changed. But here's another surprise. Many people believe the paws are the feline version of human fingerprints. That idea sounds logical, yet it overlooks one remarkable difference that makes the nose even more extraordinary. The incredible difference between the nose print and the paw print. Ask most people which part of a cat is most like a human fingerprint, and many will immediately point to the paws. It seems like an obvious answer. After all, paws leave prints everywhere. But the reality is far more interesting. A cat's paw pads do have unique textures and tiny surface details. However, they were never studied or used as extensively for individual identification as the nose. The nose provides a much clearer and more stable pattern of ridges and grooves, making it far more useful when researchers compare one cat with another. There's another reason the nose stands out. Paw pads are constantly exposed to rough surfaces, dirt, moisture, and daily wear. While they remain healthy and functional, their appearance can temporarily change because of the environments cats explore. The nose, on the other hand, preserves the intricate pattern that formed before birth, with remarkable consistency throughout life. This doesn't mean the paws are unimportant. In fact, they reveal a great deal about how cats move, hunt, climb, and communicate with their surroundings. But when it comes to carrying a naturally unique signature, the nose takes center stage. The more you learn about your cat, the more you realize that uniqueness isn't limited to personality. It's written into countless tiny details, from the pattern on its nose, to the markings in its fur and the way it responds to your voice. Nature has created an individual that has never existed before and will never exist again. And that may be the most beautiful lesson of all, because once you understand it, you'll never look at your cat in quite the same way. After today, you'll never look at your cat the same way again. From now on, every time your cat walks toward you, gently sniffs your hand, or looks up at your face, you'll know you're seeing something that exists nowhere else in the world. That tiny nose you've probably overlooked for years is carrying a pattern that belongs to one cat and one cat alone. It's fascinating to think that nature invested so much detail into a feature that most people never stop to examine. Yet this is one of the greatest lessons cats quietly teach us. The most extraordinary things are often hidden inside the most ordinary moments. Researchers continue to uncover amazing facts about feline behavior and biology, but one truth remains constant. Every cat is an individual, not just because of its personality or habits, but because its body itself tells a story that cannot be copied. Its nose, its markings, the sound of its meow, the way it greets you, and the trust it builds with you all combine to create a companion unlike any other. So, take a closer look the next time your cat is resting peacefully beside you. Notice the tiny lines across its nose. Think about how those patterns began forming before it was even born and have remained with it throughout every adventure you've shared together. What once seemed like a simple part of its face becomes a reminder that you're living with a truly one-of-a-kind animal. Sometimes, building a stronger bond with a cat doesn't require buying a new toy or teaching a new trick. It simply begins by noticing what has always been there. And once you learn to see these small details, you'll discover that your cat has been showing you how unique it is every single day.